If only they would have opened their eyes, they would have seen the true horror. Anyways, should be live, and ready to get going. Well, the best thing I can say about what's going on today is we are finally all in on that end game. Let me pull up my chat here real fast. Hopefully YouTube doesn't fight me too hard. Well, and of course it's fighting me pretty hard. There we go. Welcome Dem. Welcome Stanny. I don't know which one of you came in first. I had to open up my chat. So, I guess, yeah, welcome to the stream first of all, but we are getting into the end game. I've got to go down to Area 0 and do the final mission. If you were here for our last stream, then you know that I suffered heavy casualties. My team was left broken and beaten. Probably half the size of what I wanted it to be. And nobody else in the wing was ready to be trained up and jump in. I was lost without your stream last weekend. Dem, I apologize profusely for my inability to fit that in last weekend. Originally, I knew I wasn't going to make it Friday. Saturday rolled around, and everything was so packed, and so I said, well, maybe I can fit it in Sunday. And it just wasn't happening. I had scouting events, I had birthdays to catch for my niece, I had other family things happen all at once. I do apologize, but I had to put it off that week. There was no way I was fitting it in. That said, we are here with plenty of time all day if I need to finish this up. Our team has been reorganized, restacked, replayed, and we are at the perfect internet chosen level. I did my homework, I looked into it. This is numerically the perfect range for me to enter into Area 0 and maintain a level of challenge and also be at least adequately prepared. As I've said it before, when the internet speaks, you do not question the wisdom of the crowd. You might question the information at hand, but when things play out that perfectly, you go with it. You're in the wrong to question mathematical perfection. The 69 squad, exactly. So we've got, I have not gone even in here yet. Forgot there were cutscenes. I hope I don't have battles before I'm prepared. But yeah, I hit that number and I just said, look, this is exactly where it needs to be. I remember when I left off, I was saying something about, 70 to 72. No, we're going in. Numerically speaking, this should be viable. I do not have good type coverage anymore. So much so that in order to relieve myself of some terrible time grinding, because there was a lot of it to be had, and also to maintain Pokemon move types that would have been viable, I unfortunately had to double dip in fire types. Not the end of the world, I like my Arcanine, but that also unfortunately puts either Arcanine or our starter as a potential fall point, if need be, just purely on type coverage. And I hate making those decisions. Apologies while I open up a drink here. Gotta stay well hydrated during all of this because I don't know how long this is gonna take. I believe last time when I was taking a more casual and explorative approach, it took like 3 hours. So, for all I know, we could be here for another 3 hours because there's going to be a lot of thinking and panic involved, more than likely. And possibly some tears. There is nothing I can do to justify, in my opinion, raising up any more Pokemon for this, trying to level grind, to get anything else anywhere near being viable for the team. If anybody comes in, it's because somebody else fell, and their entire purpose is to possibly be a body to die. I was not prepared for the losses we had last time. I am prepared for anything but a full team sweep. By the way, when everybody told me to clip a portion of the video, I did clip it. I had an original idea of what I wanted to do with it. That has since changed. My original idea was going to be put out on April Fool's Day, because I thought it would be a more appropriate time for me to put out the original planned video, which did not get completed. Again, my time was just non-existent for the past good while. So I unfortunately don't have... I have an entire recorded audio bit of me kind of monologuing my preparedness and my ability to take an absolute ass whooping and try to turn it into something. Unfortunately, that's never going to get used. However, I do still have the audio clip to show my unfortunate losses and the tears and screaming that came from an absolute shit run of bad coin flips and dice rolls. Been so bored this week. Finally started learning learning a guitar. Hell yeah. I seem to recall you had mentioned that before. And my niece recently picked up Mario Kart, and you know what that means? Uncle Ian, despite not wanting to get the newest Mario Kart, is probably going to have to get the new Mario Kart. Legit, I don't mind Mario Kart. In fact, I rather enjoy Mario Kart as a franchise. It's just, at this point, I'm so far behind on the newest one, I'm going to have no knowledge, and I am terrified of loading up. Remember, I'm the video game uncle. If I load up and play Mario Kart with a 9-year-old and lose, I can't put up with that. Welcome, Ash. Welcome to the stream. How has your week been? Finished my Pokemon Sword Nuzlocke? I have to ask, how far did you make it? Did you win? And if so, what was the winning party? Pokemon Sword is kind of challenging at the start, as I recall, if you were to try a Nuzlocke, just going off of memory. But once you get past, like, the first beginning hurdle, you can more than likely make it fairly well through most troubles, and then you're going to end up at one little bit at the end that's gonna spike you a little bit. And again, you make it past that hurdle, and it's fairly decent riding throughout. By the way, I did mention that, unfortunately, if we go to the boxes, I mentioned all the way at the beginning, at the start of the last stream, that if we get any... Now, I've got some Pokemon here that I enjoy, but if we got any shinies, I'd be giving them away. We did not come across any shinies in this entire playthrough. However, if you have a Pokemon Sword or Shield game, and you're able to trade on it, after the stream, win or lose, whatever happens, again, this is one shot. I've got Pokemon I could put into the party, but we know their fate if they go in there. I mean, look at those levels. They are not going to be competing very hard. That said, if you have a Pokemon Sword or Shield game, I have 4 shinies that I'm willing to part with from my old Sword file. Ones that I bred for this. I actually have another one if you want. It's one that I got as a Wonder Trade, and I guarantee you it's cheated. But if you have interest in it, I'm willing to part with it. But otherwise, I have 4 that I myself went through the effort to happen, and I will be giving those away at the end of the stream. I'll have to get up at some point and swap the games over. I'm doing a Brilliant Diamond Nuzlocke. I'll be honest, I still think that is my favorite Nuzlocke I've done. Made entirely by the hardships I faced at the first big ass whooping I took, followed by the struggles and the creative gameplay during the last run, which was probably the longest stream I've ever done. I think it was something close to like 10 or 12 hours. It was a full day stream. I don't even remember how long it was. I just remember it was all day and well into the night during the transition into New Year's. I can't remember. I think Dem might have been there for that one. I don't know, that might have been pre-Dem showing up. But I thought he was here around that time. Yeah, I seem to recall you were here for that. I know you were here during the Legends Arceus, which was another very fun one. However, it was, in my mind, partially tainted by events that happened outside of the game, and it is no fault of the game on my experience being tainted by that. But it just is what it is. Meanwhile, this one, as great as it's been, I'm not over my ass whooping last stream yet. We'll see where I feel by the end of this. Alright, so doing a Brilliant Diamond Nuzlocke, you currently have Chimchar by the name of Popeye. That's actually a pretty good name for a Chimchar. Popeye the Sailor. The old rough and tumble fighting sailor boy. And Starly the Trumpet Boy. Again, bird squawking, I get it. The name fits. I'm glad that nobody jumped on the fact that I'm worried about losing in Mario Kart to a 9-year-old. Oh, that's right. It's Professor Turo in this. I keep forgetting that because I've been speeding through the story. I'm not really paying attention to the actual verbiage at play here. I keep thinking it's Mami Sada. And despite knowing what I know, she will still be Mami Sada to me. Which reminds me, I picked up some trading cards recently. They have a blister pack or whatever out right now that guarantees you a free Arcanine card. And so I was like, look, I don't care about whatever I manage to pull. I don't even know what's coming in the Sword and Shield packs. Or not Sword and Shield, in the Scarlet and Violet packs. I was all in just for the Arcanine card. Let's see, okay, skid marks up front, so we'll avoid the plants running around. But anyways, I actually managed to get a Mami Sada card, so I was super excited about that. Giraffe rigs we can run through a little bit. Now that we're here and we've started our path starting as the 69 squad, we can effectively start building up to a little bit more. Damn, I'm worried about losing to the CPU on Mario Kart. Here I am constantly being like, yo, but 9-year-olds are the real threat. And Dem's just like, bro, you don't even know the CPU. Alright, well, the Earthquake strat is working pretty good. I am going to fight so many things on my way down here. I am going to get every bit of experience I can. Because even if I lose things, those that remain must be made powerful. For every death that I am forced to put up with... shut up! Arvin, shut your mouth! I need to open up my menu. Nothing fight me while I'm running here. Nothing fight me. Where am I even going? Am I going back up? I guess I'm going back up. Am I? I don't know. I'm going a direction, and until the game tells me I'm going the wrong way, this is what I'm doing. Thank you. I forgot to sell off all of my potions and super potions and other shit that I had in my inventory from all of my grinding and picking items up. The downside to that is I am well within my capabilities to misclick and do a dumb thing and suffer another fatal loss that I shouldn't because I move faster than I should be. Well, I mean, I certainly took a wrong turn somewhere. Oh, really? Alright. Be honest, I'm worried about the the battles going in. I know my party layout, and I could swap my leading Pokemon over at any point, but I kind of am coming in with a thought process, and a part of that is going to be having Skidmark up front for the poison option, because if he goes down, the hope is he will be hurting whatever takes him down, and I don't want to be caught in a battle not having my initial game plan up front. Unfortunately, I think most of the wild Pokemon here oh, big water. There we go. Are not going to be in a great position for me to get a lot of experience. Once I get past the upfront fights, this is going to be the party I'm kind of going forward with, and we'll adjust as we go. I have a little bit of an understanding about which Pokemon I will be facing. However, I'm taking a guess at their order. Hold up. If I come up to a Giraffe Rig, can I can't even throw a Pokemon out to defend myself. The cutscene is demanding full priority. On my Pearl Nuzlocke, it's going well, but I'm coming up to the Fat Cat fight. I'm trying to remember, is that the second big battle with the Galactic or whatever the team is? I know the Perugly fight is a notorious one. By the way, I have mentioned last time about me trying to figure out what game I'm going to play next. Alright, so the Giraffe Rig is a valid fight for the experience. Can't progress too far without healing up. But yeah, I've mentioned before about me planning for what game is going to be next for the streams. I've talked about Kirby being an option. I recently played an updated version of the Elder Scrolls, is it 2? Daggerfall? I think Daggerfall is the second one. And it has put me on a bit of an Elder Scrolls kick Ooh. I am not leaving this menu until I'm confident of running into something that's not going to be an immediate hurt. And Girafarig does have the potential to be big hurt. But it's not as big of a hurt as the evolved form. By the way, I have foregone my catch here because, I've said I'm not worried about what's going to go on here other than win or loss. We have our party planned out. Everything else is kind of built upon the build-up. Oh boy, that guy was close. Can you go against the moth? Yo, hold up. The moth fight is even more valid. Just get in there and murder shit, Skidmark. Welcome, Richard. Welcome to the stream. How has your weekend been? We've still got a few days left to go, but, you know, if your Saturday's off to a good start, that's a good first step. Let's give this a shot. Alright, still pretty good. No! 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 Darn right I got away safely. Let me bob and weave, bob and weave. We got this. Just gonna head my way up here to where it's a little bit safer. I've got PTSD after that last stream, man. Do not throw those curveballs at me, game. I came prepared. Hey Ash, Dem, hope you're all doing well. And Stanny, hope you're doing well as well. Absolutely, same deal. If they're still here, hope you're doing well. And if you're not here, I still hope you're doing well. Alright. I'm not sure if you caught it earlier. We've since leveled up on Lewis, but we have the chosen team. It's just a matter of getting there safely. No. No, 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 no. Alright, Skidmark is well prepared to fight a lot of shit here, and that's actually pretty good. The Nimona out of my way! I swear to God, Nimona, if you get me killed, I am going to lose my shit. Pretty good. Came downstairs to find our new dog. Okay, well, pooping inside is not good, but knowing that it is health corrected, I'll say, is a good sign. Yeah, baby steps. I had the same issue when Rhea came home for the first couple weeks. The diet change caused some issues, and of course the emotional, you know, trying to get used to things. Luckily, we have since moved beyond all of that. The next hardest step was getting her used to the new kibble option. She was not a fan at first, but got her used to it. She's now well involved in the new dietary shift, and it's not causing her any issues. Which is, of course, the goal. I think the problem I have is I probably bought a flavor she doesn't like, because I know it's a high-protein diet, and being that she is a German Shepherd, that is kind of what you should be aiming for. There we go, level 70. And Skidmark is still out there fighting something. I can't tell you how spooked I am at even simple things right now. This game has done things to me. That said, the remedy is going to be seeing that end game victory without having to take the final big L. If I can end the entire process on the win, everything else is worth it. Alright, I have something to go check as far as an experimentation. I don't know about the typing here, so let's see how this goes. No. Other way. Yeah. Thank you, game. Just gotta get full murder hobo. Everything that isn't part of our squad before me is going to fall. That is the current game plan. Yo, Frostmoth. I do enjoy the Fluttermoth. I like me my bug Pokemon, but we're on murder hobo territory. Can maybe? No, alright, you're too slow. I saw my puppies for the first time last weekend. I think I saw you post a picture on, was it Instagram? That I think I saw that? Yep. I saw you like the pics on IG. There you go. I remembered. My brain still functions from time to time. Also, the neighbor that likes to give other people's dogs treats has already given her a few of them. She's going to be like our pit bull, always wanting to go outside when he's out. I have a problem with Rhea right now and the neighbor's dogs, and it is no fault of either side. Both dogs, for whatever reason. Okay, so the neighbors have 3 dogs. They have a small unknown dog. They have a pit mix, and then they have another that is pit mix, but it has more of whatever the other dog is. I don't know what the other dog is, so I don't know how else to describe it other than calling it a pit mix. But the point is, one of the pit mix, I think it is the spotted one, the white with spots, and my dog Rhea want to do nothing but scream at each other. There's no aggression, they just run up and down the fence line screaming at each other. The other dog runs with them, but for whatever reason, their tan pit mix does not scream. And I need to get Rhea to be more like that dog and stop the screaming part. I don't care if you run up and down the fence. I don't care if you bark on occasion. But the non-stop screaming. There needs to be a limit, girl. It is very clear that there is a strong want to play. But no one in the neighborhood wants the screaming. And she has become well acquainted with their schedule. And so she constantly wants to go out when she knows that they're normally out. And if you know what I mean about screaming dogs, it's not a howl, it's not quite a bark, it's very close to a bark. But you know what I'm talking about. If you know about screaming dogs, you know what I'm talking about. It's not a howl, it's not that little singing thing, it's not a full bark, it's something in the middle. Well, and we terrestrialize into ground. That would be pretty nice, but we're not gonna rely on the terrestrialization yet, I don't think. Oh, we get partner Pokemon too. Nice. Lycanroc, I am sorry, but I'm not fooling around. Lycanroc, I love you. You didn't make me have to fool around. Given how last stream went, I am fully embodying that my experience with this game has become the equivalent of the phrasing "fuck around and find out." Also, we found out that our larger Chihuahua, who is best friends with our Pitbull, is actually part pit herself, or himself. Sorry. Now it makes more sense that they became best friends so easily. What I find funny is the dog that Rhea was living with before everything, before she came to live with us, was part pit bull. I believe it was herself. So yeah, 2 female dogs, 1 part pit, 1 all might have even been full pit. I'm not sure. But yeah, then full German Shepherd. All right, I think we go in. But yeah, they were best friends when I went to go pick her up, and now she's got another pit friend that she just screams at, and I don't get it. Why? Why the screaming? She doesn't do it to other dogs in the neighborhood. She'll bark from time to time. She'll bark at other dogs, but you call out to her and she stops. This other pit mix, whatever, there's no stopping it. I have to go out there and like grab her mid-run up and down the fence line. And again, a German Shepherd full sprint, that's a lot of force you've got to grab. And I can't grab her collar because that much momentum is going to be a bad thing. So I've got to stand in her way and full hug grab her so that I can control her descent of speed. Oh, that's right, disable the lock. Now, if you remember, the first time when we played Scarlet, there was like a Pokeball in the center of this exact area. There has been information coming out about those Pokeballs, and they seem to be markers of some sort. I think I hinted about that possibility earlier. However, since then, I have read information up on some of them. That seems to be exactly what they are. They are markers for either events or character spawn-ins or something to happen later on. So, for whatever reason, sometimes they showed themselves and they weren't supposed to. Another Lycanroc. Oh, can't throw them out. Okay, we're just moving forward. Can't even mess with the party. Alright, so we are doing Violet, which is the future Pokemon running. And I think after that Glimmer, the purple flower Pokemon, after that one we start getting into some of the future tech Pokemon. And I think the first one we're going to come to, in Scarlet it was the big screamy Metallica Jigglypuff. This time I think it's going to be is it the future Delibird, I think? Which I want to be able to access by menu game. I would very much appreciate that. Thank you. So going into that, I don't think it's Ice type. I might be wrong. I don't think it's actually Ice type like traditional Delibird is. God, it might be, and that's going to screw me over. But I'm going to go in with Lewis, because I think I remember hearing that it's part water, which does mean Lewis's grass moves would be effective. So that's the change I'm making here. I guarantee you, even if it's not Ice type, it's going to have Ice moves. So I still need to be cautious of that. Oh boy, trying to read chat and run through the area. I'm going to Walmart with a friend we live with at some point today. If you're still streaming when that happens, I'll be early at the time. Oh god, my allies are in my way, stop it. And my favorite book reviewer just uploaded his longest video yet, over 7 hours. Holy cow, that's a massive book review. Are they reading the thing live? As he said, it was going to be yesterday. That's definitely one I'll have to watch later. Totally understand. I have watched a couple of long-form content. I've said it before, when it comes to YouTube videos, I understand that it is the form of content that is waning its way out. But I still am a fan of long-form content videos. Obviously, as doing Let's Plays, I'm a fan of other Let's Plays. And, oh shoot, one of the games coming up that I am excited to get is going to be another remake of one of the Katamari games. I think it's the remake of the second one. Anyways, I am super excited for that to come out, and you know I'm going to play that. That is, I'm a big Katamari fan. I do like the Katamari. We love Katamari, as the song title goes. Zubat, you turned into Purugly. That's a rough setup. I swapped Geodude in to die, and then I'd have a clean sweep. Okay, he killed Purugly by hitting 4 rollouts. Nice, so a big damage buildup. And somehow surviving despite being 2 levels lower. Look, that Geodude has just earned like a... what is it? That Geodude has earned a lemonade after this, the battle is done. Lemonade, soda pop, whatever you happen to have on your inventory. Alright, we're going to have another battle here. And I don't know what the third one is. So, knowing that I have no idea what the third one is... Yeah, okay, so yeah, I was right, it is Delibird. Again, I think I remember hearing about the Metal Delibird being the first one you come across that's that's version specific. I know what some of the others are. I think the next one's going to be, is it the Iron Tusk? It's either the next one or the one after. So I'll need to put something that's going to be, because I think Iron Tusk is high physical defense, not special. And it's Steel type. So I might have to put our starter Fire Boy up front. He's reviewing a TikToker's book that has enough problems to warrant a... Oh, boy! 7-hour video. The only TikToker that I follow, they re-upload all of their TikToks over to YouTube. Let me check the name here of the channel. B. Dylan Hollis. If you do not follow him, I do recommend. He has a great sense of humor. But he does cooking videos and so on. And if you don't know, I do a lot of cooking in the house. I do a bit of baking as well. Okay, so I'm gonna come in with the giggity drain. Welcome, Pokemon. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully your weekend has been building up to a good start. But yeah, so I actually have their cookbook pre-ordered. Very excited to get into it. I think there was some controversy involving how well it got released or something, so he'll probably talk about... I mean, if they've got like a 7-hour video, there's going to be a lot to talk about. Again, a 7-hour book review can't just be a book review. There's got to be like pre-story, there's got to be build-up, there's got to be the book itself. There's got to be some controversy around the book. There's probably got to be some like controversy post-release. A 7-hour review is not just talking about a book. Like, if I was going to do an entire series review of a series that I have enjoyed, unless it's a series that is like 18 books long, like I'm thinking about a couple of series I've read that are like 4 or 5 books long. If I was going to do a full review and breakdown, we're talking a maximum of like 2 hours. Like, that's a long video. That would be a long review by even the standards of a series, but I'd be talking about just the book. Better the Biscuit Man. Hello? Butter the Biscuit Man. Welcome to the stream, Biscuit. hopefully your week has been pretty good and your weekend is off to a good start. Just working through the final leg of my Nuzlocke run, and still trying to get past the stress, the trauma from my last stream, where I took heavy losses that I never expected to be taking, at a time that I did not expect to be taking them. The way you said it, I love it. I am glad to hear that to whatever extent my voice is enjoyable, I guess is the word I'll use. After all, the reason I think people do streams is to try and share a little bit of joy, so I'll take that win, especially considering that I have been taking a lot of losses lately. I am literally down to a final shot. I've got this run to make the end happen, and if I lose all of my heavy hitters, I quite literally don't have the team set up to follow up behind. I've said it at the beginning. If I lose heavy hitters and have to cycle in other Pokemon, their entire purpose for entering the lineup is to die so that other things maybe don't have to. So this is it. This is the run. This is the final dash. Your voice is very enjoyable. Well, thank you very much, Dem. I try my best. I try my best with my old man voice. Alright, doesn't look like I missed anything major in the chat. I realized that there were some longer ones that I had scrolled past, but I think I did read those ones. Alright, so again, I've mentioned that I have some minor knowledge on some of the upcoming Pokemon. I have not done any major homework. I'm just familiar with what other people who I've seen play this game have done, and I'm trying to go off of memory. I think Iron Tread is the next one. I'm not looking for spoilers. I'm not looking to give me the inside scoop. I think Iron Tread is the next one, and as a result, I'm going to be putting Nibbler up front. The problem is if it's not Iron Tread, I don't know what it is, and if I don't know what it is, it has every possibility of inflicting massive amounts of pain. And I don't want massive amounts of pain. My team is what it is. We are in this. The pain can happen, but the pain shouldn't happen until we're in that underground territory region. I can't take heavy losses, man, this early. What were your parents like, Nimona? I have parents. I was raised by a pack of wild Pokemon. All I know is battle. It is what it is. Well, that's the nature of a Nuzlocke. You take your lumps and you keep pushing forward. I don't think... Now, I have done at least 2 Nuzlockes now. We did the Brilliant Diamond and we did a Nuzlocke of Legends Arceus. I have done other Nuzlockes not on stream before those. However, other than a couple of Nuzlockes that I have not streamed where I have faced big losses, I don't think I've taken as big of a beating in any other Nuzlocke as this one. And I think a part of that is I did intentionally make some choices and some limitations that were meant to make it harder on me. Bisharp over there. What is my level at? Yeah, we'll throw you out at the Bisharp. I need a little bit more experience. Get you up to that 70 mark. Are you just choosing not to fight the bug? All right, and I saw that you fought a Golduck without too much pain. It would be great if you would choose to do that again. Man, Nibbler just does not have the bloodlust that the God, what was the grass starter we had before? That one, for whatever reason, just wanted to fight everything. Nibbler, on the other hand, far more passive. It's funny, you know, here I am on a Nuzlocke where bloodlust is a benefit sometimes. And I just can't get lucky on that. Bloodlust being a benefit in so much as it helps with the grinding. Yeah, I just don't need you to fight anything. I just need you to grab the item because I don't trust that if I went to that I wouldn't be fighting a Corviknight. What other games might you Nuzlocke? Well, at the end of this stream, whether I win or lose, as the final outcome of this Nuzlocke, I will be doing a shiny giveaway on Sword. I have 4 shinies to give away. The original plan was if I had any shinies that I came across in this gameplay, I was going to give them away. However, we did not come across any like we did with the with the Scarlet gameplay. So as a result, I'm going to be giving away a couple of shinies from my Sword, and I'm thinking I might start up on my second profile a Pokemon Sword gameplay and maybe do a Nuzlocke of that, because I think one of our other viewers have mentioned that they are doing that as well. I think that was Ash Nefix, who was in chat earlier, recently started a Sword Nuzlocke, and I think they unfortunately faced a loss on it at one point, and they have moved over to Brilliant Diamond. But I never did a Sword Nuzlocke, and I'm intrigued by it, especially with the way the open field works, and the way I tackle the approach is different than the way I have seen other people tackle such an issue of a wide open map. I break things off based on general landmass appropriation rather than the grid pattern that the game sometimes does, which means realistically I get fewer catches than what a lot of people do. However, I also have certain other limitations that come in and benefits where others don't. So the losses I suffer tend to hurt quite a lot. But that's one that I might do a Nuzlocke on at some point. Right now I'm debating what my next... Ooh, oh boy, that's a map break. I'm debating what my next game is going to be. I have the new Kirby game. What is it? Return to Dreamland? Alright, I think it's obvious. We Go Full Torch song. And we appreciate greatly that Mabastiff was willing to take the shot there. But yeah, I'm debating between that one and, honestly, a return to the Elder Scrolls franchise. I have been greatly wanting to dive back into that one recently. Alright, I do have to step away for a moment. Please forgive me. I will be back as soon as possible. It shouldn't be more than a minute or two. Gotta move my mic stand. Alright, I am back. Sorry about that. You know, sometimes during the live streams, things come up. Jeez, wow. I didn't realize standing up was going to try to kill me. I know I'm getting old, but God. I'm not even 40. I say that like half of the people on stream right now don't already know my actual age. Alright, yeah, we're still worried about Miraidon. Don't get me wrong, if I was as invested in the story as I was with Scarlet, I'd be a little bit more reactionary, but we have made it through the story once, and unfortunately that does mean the twists and turns, they don't hit as hard. I will say though, the bit about Mabestiff still emotionally got me. It wasn't as hard and heavy hitting as the first time, but it still got me. Thank you very much for the sub, Butter, and I again very much appreciate the compliment. It's great to have you here as well. I very much appreciate having people who are willing to be chat heavy. I do try to read every chat that comes in, and I try to respond when and where appropriate. So having people who are willing to be active in chat is very much appreciated. By the way, as I mentioned about the couple of game options coming up, I'm curious what your thoughts you'd like to see would be. Are you on board with the Kirby approach? Would you be okay with me doing some Elder Scrolls games here or there? We have a couple of upcoming games as well. I mentioned about the Katamari game coming out soon. God, I have to look up when that comes out. Actually, give me a moment. I'm gonna keep going with the game. I can do this one-handed. Oh, I hear my dog coming. Let me see what games I have ordered here. Alright, coming up, oh, we have the new Zelda game, that's going to be a big one. Pikmin 4, around my birthday, that's going to be a big one. And June is going to be the Katamari game. So I know I'm going to play Katamari, and I know I'm going to play Pikmin 4. I am a huge Pikmin fan. Dem, I'd be down for whatever. Butter, yeah, that would be fun. All right, so at the very least, we have some options that none of them seem to jump out as a hard no. So I will take that all day long. I get so panicky when the game suddenly says, "Hey, you don't have the right to have a menu anymore," because your friends, they need to chat and get to know each other. Narratively, it makes a lot of sense, and we had a lot of fun with it last time. Now that I'm panicky and Nuzlocke running and seeing some big rocky boys that I know how tanky they can be, I am a little nervous. Dying Light is free on Epic for a week. Ooh, I do have an Epic account. I don't open it very often because I'm not a fan of having multiple locations for my games, so unfortunately I am a scrub and am all over Steam. Look, I am just sitting here where I can maintain focus on everything trying to kill me until I can have access to my menu and change my party lineup. Guys, I get it. Y'all want to get to know each other. Thank you. Alright, now I don't know what's coming up from this point on. So I am going to return to my prior party lineup. Whoops. I have to not do that in the battle. Misclicks are one thing right now. Misclicks will hurt a lot more when everything starts being put on the line. I got a Saints Row game on Epic on my computer at one point, but it was too big a download to want to download on my computer. Also, it probably wouldn't have run on my computer anyway. Sounds like you probably got an older system, Richard. I preferred Steam when I got my PC, but Epic's free games, I don't blame you, man. Epic does some things fairly well. I don't think they do everything fairly well, but they do a couple of things fairly well, and I think it's, if you're willing to put up with having multiple locations, they're a good option. What is the other one? Good Old Games, or Grand Old Games, or Great Old Games? GOG. Whatever GOG stands for is another good avenue to pick up some games. You've got 345 games on Epic, and you bought maybe 15. God, I don't know how many I have on Steam. I know I have a bunch of games that I've never actually played, and I started a concept at one point, and I only ever did one video on it, and it was one video while I was sick and dying. Literally suffering from potential organ failure, which has gotten better, but is still a risk. But yeah, when that was happening and I was bedridden for like several weeks, deciding whether or not I was going to kick the bucket or go under the knife, which luckily neither happened, so far that's a good thing. But yeah, on that, I started doing like mini reviews of those games where I played a chunk of it, showed you some of the gameplay, got a good feel for what the game had to offer, and gave my thoughts on what I played in that moment. And I thought that was a good option while I was bedridden. I called it steam cleaning, which I should probably do again now that we're entering like the spring cleaning mindset. But yeah, that was a pretty fun thing on my end as far as that goes, and it was a lot better for recording because I could do each section, and I didn't have to speak constantly through it like I do on my live streams, where I feel like I constantly have to have something that I'm providing. But yeah, so as I go through, I might do some more of that. Because I actually have an entire list of games that I think would be great for it, as well as some that I think would be terrible, god-awful. I've gotten some gag gifts from some friends, and all of those would be fun ones to kind of mix into that formula. Lovely, YouTube went down. Give me a second. There we go. Have you ever thought of playing Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee? I actually have played on my channel even, but God, that goes way back to when I'm still trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing on this channel. I did something for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I can't remember what it was specifically, if it was a full Let's Play, or if it was kind of just a one-off of which I was talking about it. But there was something that I did. Okay, I literally tried to open my menu and I accidentally hit B to crouch, and the cutscene started. Lovely. Alright, so I don't know what's going to happen as far as the battle goes forward, so I had a good idea of what the first couple were. From here on out, I don't remember. All I can do is cross my fingers and hope that the pain is minimal. But I actually do have, to answer the question, Arvin, please, could really use you not being there. I do have both, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and despite all of the negativity it got, I actually really enjoyed it. Conceptually, the idea of what it had to offer, it was a great game when it came out because I could play it two-player with my niece and nephew. So I actually really liked what Let's Go did as a concept. There were some issues with it that I had. I do think the art direction was actually great for the Pokemon. I think the players, on the other hand, were a little odd. They just had like a weird feel to them that I never got over. That said, I will say being able to ride on the back of an Arcanine was the single greatest thing that Pokemon has given me from a gameplay standpoint for years. And I want more of that. Just let me ride my Arcanine in every game. Let's Go Eevee was a fun game. I did enjoy it a lot. Also, the way Eevee acted... Exactly. Again, I've said it before. Pikachu as the mascot, I get it. The games have kind of set up for something. But Eevee is weaponized. It is military-grade cuteness. I like that you could ride Pokemon. Exactly. I just brought that up. Obviously, you could ride a lot of Pokemon, but Arcanine being my all-time favorite, that was a very special moment for me. Ian has his priorities straight when it comes to Pokemon games. Let me have fun with my Pokemon! Obviously, we can all have various ways of playing the games, but my priorities are, let me engage with my Pokemon. That's the number one thing I want. It was also great having the Pokeball accessory that came out with it. Again, I remember putting an Arcanine in my Pokeball and literally strapping that to my keyring and taking my Arcanine with me to work. Again, say what you will, but when it comes to the Pokemon franchise, I just want ways to have fun with the many creatures that they have given me to enjoy over the years. Damn. Again. You got me once before reading your statements out loud back when we were talking about a foot fetish, of all things. Let me read this in a way that is not going to be indicative of my direct quote. Because you understand, if I, as the streamer, read that as you wrote it, how that sounds. So, to quote Dem, okay, but could we, again, quoting Dem, ride a Gardevoir or a Vaporeon? Dem, I'm going to tell you right now, the internet has given you many avenues for that approach, if that is what you so choose. I am also well aware that despite the meme, apparently, Lucario is actually the real top dog. Haha, I just said what I said and realized what I said when it comes to that content. Anyways, now that we have navigated beyond that, a few more chats came in. To clarify, if there was a way to ride around on one of my favorite Pokemon, I'll take that any day. Okay, Richard, we just covered this, and now you're saying, sadly, Bunnelby doesn't look like it could carry a human very far. Realize the conversation we just had, and out of the commonly referenced bunny Pokemon, you were like, nah, fuck that, Bunnelby. And when you could become good friends with your Pokemon and they hung on to 1 HP, that is still a thing. You actually have Pokemon that will hang on. They will also avoid attacks purely based on your friendship level or whatever arbitrary background number they attribute to. Oh, get away from that. To your Pokemon. Dem got it before me this stream. Both you and Dem are always on point with that, and I have to be so careful about when and what comments I read, because you guys make it way too easy for me to shove my own foot in my mouth. And no, that is not a continuation on the foot fetish comment. I almost had a follow-up there, and I realized that it would just be feeding the chaos that the two of you live off of. That was a bright-ass sparkle. Alright, so I can't just, like, tease you with the comment I was going to make, so the comment I had that I was going to say, that I stopped myself, but now I'm saying anyways, because I hate myself and I give you guys what you want, was going to be that it can't be a continuation of the foot fetish because I was talking about chewing on my own foot. Except, if I was of that nature, you could argue that that's just self-gratification, if you know where I'm going. I would say the M word, but YouTube hates that M word. And I understand why YouTube hates the M word. I understand it even further when it's in reference to the foot fetish thing, Dem. I'm not letting it go. At this point, I'm choosing to continue. You can give me what I want. I heard you like mudkips. I do, in fact, like the mudkips. However, I more so like the Mega Marsh Stomp because, man, that boy be swole. I don't like when Pokemon are just like, nah, I'm good, not gonna die because we are friends. I get that. The one thing that I don't understand is when you try to send a Pokemon away, and if you have a high enough friendship, they come back to you. Like, again, in the experience of Pokemon, I like that, but in the concept of the Pokemon franchise, I have mixed feelings about that. And again, yeah, the survival on 1 HP just because you're friends, I think is controversial between the people who like the core mechanics of Pokemon and the people who like the Pokemon friendship angle. Alright, so I think this is where we get swarmed by a bunch of them and we have like a gauntlet match. God, I remember how just emotionally broken I was when I realized that Mamisada was no longer Mamisada as I understood and desperately wanted it to be. Now it's just like, I'm here, I know it, and Arvin, I'm sorry that you are going to be emotionally traumatized for the rest of your life about this. Alright, let's check our level. I mean, we're as good as we're going to be. Ash is the only one. Ash, who was here with us from at the beginning of the stream, is the only one holding true to the game plan. At level 69. He knows what must be done, and he has the strength to commit. Got it, Arvin. What's going on? Look, I get it, but clearly Miraidon is having a software issue. I almost started reading the dialogue out loud because at present I don't have much to say, and the line that my brain focused on was was not letting Miraidon ride us, or us ride him. Anyways, that was the line my brain focused on, and the obvious reasons I didn't start there. Our little Tron bike. Gonna have to open my next can soon. Alright, so the gauntlet match, as I recall, is the remainder of the ones we haven't fought yet, minus like 1 or 2 that are to be shown in the big daddy fight. I don't like the way I said that. Do we fight? No, we don't fight it here. No, there's something else here. It is just not right! Again, the giant dick robot. It's just not right watching it hover dangerously towards me. There's a lot about Miraidon I can like. The fact that it's a giant rocket-powered dick is not the thing I appreciate. As a question, what's your favorite Pokemon game? I think we've gone down this road before, and I'm trying to think how I want to answer it to expand. There's something I can point to in every Pokemon game that I enjoy. But I think the game, in my opinion, that got the most right, like the whole way through, and rides above the curve on everything, but still gives me a lot of what I want, is probably Heart Gold and Soul Silver. That is probably, in my opinion, like the peak that Pokemon has been. However, that's not to say that other Pokemon games don't do other parts of what the franchise offers better in different ways. I think for me that is just the one that, if I were to just play one Pokemon game over and over again, and that was all I was able to do, that would be the one I'd pick. I think I said before that, other Pokemon games might have had better stories, might have had more character cameos, might have handled the exploration task better. All of these things, like other games might have done better at, but I think it just had the most high-ranking run for me. Alright, so we gotta fight a bunch of these, what are they called, like Iron Hands or something like that? Or we're starting with another Iron Tread. Alright, Earthquake not bad. Low Kick probably legit pretty good. I'd imagine a giant steel ball of existence probably pretty heavy. I'm gonna give that a shot because, okay! I was gonna say, Lycanroc did pretty good before! Okay, that was an upset I wasn't expecting. The immediate get wrecked. Okay, but Palmont comes out here and throws hands and does it in. Wow, that was an instant drop. That was intimidating. Realizing that could have came for me. And I don't get to heal in between because I think this is a gauntlet fight. There is no healing, there is no changing, there is no adapting. It is just, yo, throw hands and hope you don't die. Anyways, as I've said, this is where I expect, if I'm going to start taking losses, this is kind of the cutoff line where I'm unfortunately going to have to accept them if they happen. I think Iron Hands being steel, I can't hit it with a Toxic. I don't like the way that it bodied my partner last time. I'm going all in. We're starting with Earthquake. If we hurt the Umbreon, then it is what it is. Alright, that recoil damage is pretty nice. It's super effective, and it did dick all. It's super effective, and it laughed at me. It's super effective, it laughed at me, grabbed my Pokemon by the tail, and body slammed it into the ground. I don't like the picture that this is painting right now, because we have another fight to do. And it's the big dragon boy, if I remember, because we see him in the background. Alright, Arvin. Big, angry, iron, dark dragon. I think it's iron and dark, or steel and dark. But I don't know if its effect makes it immune to the earthquake. So I don't even know if I can do an earthquake run. I think I'm going to try the low kick. Now, you know what? I'm going to try the earthquake, see what happens. Although apparently we do get to heal in between. Okay, so it's dark and something else. It's not iron. Because the poison was able to take effect. Okay, so it's also not immune to the earthquake, which is big. This is important knowledge to have right now. Because we are coming into an end game. Dragon, gotcha. So it is still, what, Dragon Dark, I'd assume? Alright. Oh, excuse me. So I need to see if I need to heal up between this battle and the next one. Because unfortunately, I've got one shot left, and there's literally nothing. If something goes wrong, there is no stopping. I don't even think I get the opportunity to swap my party around. If I recall, we have the one big final fight, and then it goes immediately into a follow-up. And I remember that there's a gimmick with the follow-up to get you to face it with your Miraidon. And basically, if you don't do the Miraidon v Miraidon strat immediately, you are pretty heavily punished for that, if I recall. Or God, what was it? There was something about your Pokemon limitations or something to that effect. I suddenly just remembered in Pokemon Fire Red in Trainer Tower, one trainer had a shiny Espeon. Was Trainer Tower all like predetermined stuff? Because I thought, at least when I played it, I had thought that a lot of those were, you had predetermined trainers, but I thought a lot of it was fairly randomized. Okay, sitting there like that, it's kind of funny. Robo Dad has a little bit of a dad bod sitting there. So many people like have him be just giga chatted up, but watching his kind of cold robotic body just kind of slumped there in the chair, it looked like he had the dad bod beer belly. Yo, the Master Ball. Also, my dog showed up. She is wanting attention, but she's gonna have to accept that she is getting limited attention until after the stream. Alright, so we are getting through the end. So yeah, the big spoiler, since we're here, Turo has been a robot the entire time. I was heartbroken. I wanted Mommy Sada to be a real person so bad. So bad. It was palpable to the people watching, I'm sure, how much I wanted Mommy Sada to just be like, yo, end game, let's go. And then to be like, no, I'm a robot, I've never been real, the Mommy Sada you've known all along has never been real, And not only that, I need you to kill me. First of all, realize that we're playing a Pokemon game that finally said, not only are people dying... Remember, the first Pokemon game implied a war was fought. And still never gave you an actual death. The first Pokemon game had a maybe bug, in which they had a ghost on top of the fire gym. The first Pokemon game gave the implication that Mewtwo lost his shit and burned down a factory. None of this ever gave us a definitive fact that someone died. Then we get X and Y, and we talk about a war and a great weapon, and again, it was like things died, but then did they? There were questions that a lot of people had. And then there was something about a great saving moment or whatever. You don't see those consequences. Even in that one, it happened like years, and what was it, like 100 and something years ago. This is the first time that the game was like, yo, someone died, and this is all they have left. By the way, your best friend, or one of your best friends in the game, not necessarily a rival character, they fight alongside you in this one. One of your friends in this game that you've gone through a journey with. This is their parent. They aren't even here to get this information yet, and now here you are in the position with this forbidden knowledge, gun in hand essentially, again I'm getting a little metaphorical here, gun in hand, execute the remaining being. Be the one to pull the trigger, and that is wild that Pokemon did that. Exactly, Butter. Big depressing. Fun fact, I never managed to beat the first Trainer Tower battle when I was a kid. I need to try playing it as an adult and see if I can win. A lot of people back in the day when they had that post-game challenge content, a lot of people struggled with it because it was meant to be challenge content. And for a lot of people growing up, the mindset was, I just want big numbers, big smashy. So I've mentioned before about the involvement of in the end of the last game. I had an entire rant about the obscenities of what this game tries to offer as a solution. And here's the thing. The Violet timeline shenanigans are interesting because if you consider the timeline our player character is in as being the true timeline pass, there's less shenanigans going on about things going to the future. So when we send our AI Turo, our robot Turo guy, to the future, we don't have the issue of that involvement like we did with sending Mamisada back to the past. You end up with a whole lineup of issues in the involvement of the advancement of humans, and there's a lot of problems with that. Even just sending essentially a robo-corpse to the past leads to a lot of problems. But sending one to the future has left less involvements with the issues there. Now, with that said, all of the problems about there being future Pokemon now in the present, this does create the very same issue and does throw things out of balance, and stopping the time machine does nothing to prevent any of it because the gate has been opened and these Pokemon are already roaming around the world. We've covered this in greater detail in Scarlet. You can go back and watch that if you want to get the further in-depth details of me breaking down the problems with this. But it still has problems. Shyamalan could not have come up with a better plot twist. Shyamalan has come up with very similar plot twists. I will say Shyamalan could not have made me feel things for a fictional character like the Pokemon franchise did. And I blame the fandom more for that than the Pokemon franchise themselves. But look, you give me Unga Bunga mommy energy, and look, caveman brain does what caveman brain does. Also, you then turn around and say, okay, but also Unga Bunga Mommy Energy has big science person brain, and now just like all of the neurons are firing. Why did you do this to me, Pokemon? Why did you hurt me? What did I do to you? And then you made me be the executioner. There wasn't even any judge or jury to be had. You were just like, nope, only the executioner, that's your role, do it. I tried to leave. I tried to choose a different ending. I tried to give the game the reality that it had signed up for. And it still was just like, no. You've got a bullet in the chamber. Do it. I tried to big brain the game that was trying to big brain me. And they didn't like it. They didn't like it one bit, and they made it hurt even more because of it. You dared to come into this child game thinking? Be ready for emotional damage. Alright, let's get this going, Toro. I know we've got one fight, and then we've got another fight, and I have to be all in and heavy focused, because I don't trust that I'm not going to be an idiot. Because as we have seen before, I can and will screw things up right at the finish line. Alright, again, I'm going to step away for a brief moment, and I'm going to take the opportunity of the cutscene to do this. Again, I'm sorry that I keep having to move my mic stand when I do this, too. Boy, that's a fun image to come back on. Not going to give you nightmares from that one at all. Pardon me, guys. I apologize for the squeak. I knew it was coming. I am having to adjust the way everything is even hooked up here right now because I am expecting fully that I am going to get up, walk off, do some rants, because things are going to happen and I'm not going to be happy during the entirety of this. Wonder when his jaw is gonna get tired. Whoops. I'm gonna go with the assumption that it don't. Okay, so I think a lot of these have their own unique ability. So I don't think Iron Moth is part flying specifically. I could be wrong about that, but I think it doesn't have like a levitate skill or something, so I think I'm good with Earthquake. So that's my opening move. And it's a lot faster, and it hurts. And it gets stronger every time it makes the hurt. This is the power the distant future holds. My guy, you are falling apart. Alright, I think that was quad damage. I think it's fire poison? Oh noes? I mean, oh knows that it got stronger. Iron Thorns. God, which one's Iron? Iron Thorns. I don't know what Iron Thorns is, so I am going to keep our Pokemon out. Again, we're... Oh! Yo, but that's kind of cool. Give me Robotzilla. Okay. I could probably take a little bit doing like a terrestrialized earthquake. I don't know if I want to do that though. Because my terrestrialization is a one-shot thing, and once we're setting it, we're setting it. And I think that would help. I think that helps get rid of my weakness from poison. But is it going to do something to hurt me with the ground typing? I'm going to go for it. We're going to see what happens. Could be a bad call. Could be Fire Steel. Ground is good against Steel too. And being Robot, yeah, okay, that does make a lot of sense. Maybe Ground Steel or Ground Rock. Alright, let's see if the terrestrializing gives us a huge advantage here. Okay, it did. Again, I think rock typing is effective against poison, which was my fear there. Is I thought they were probably going to try to abuse my weakness to the rock typing. Alright, Iron Bundle. Oh, that was the okay, we know this one. We ran into this one. We're going to keep our run. I think this was the Delibird, right? Right. So it's got the water thing going on. We are going to be weak to it, but I need to do what I can to build us back up. So I'm going to pop a Max Potion. This was the one that when we faced it the first time, it was... Okay, but unless it gets a crit next time, we're in a good spot. And we're in a better spot than where we left off at. Oh, but the Earthquake's not as effective. But we have extra stabby damage, so let's take the shot, see what happens. Honestly, if I'd known that it was going to do that, I probably would have been better to Toxic. Let the poison take it. In fact, I'm going to try that. We're going to see what happens if I slap it with a Toxic. Sludge Wave is effective. Therefore, I know it can be poisoned. Toxic will take it eventually, and we can Super Soaker strategy. No! That was not what I wanted to see. Alright, yep. Well, let me check something here. Accuracy 90. Okay, so the occasional miss should be thought of. There we go. Slap the Toxic on, and now we just Super Soaker our way to an end strat. The Toxic will eventually do its job, and we don't have to... Ooh, we don't have to take the big risk. We can take the small risk. I'm going to move my microphone again. I think I'm a little close. There we go. And that didn't make nearly as much of a squeaky noise. I'm afraid I was possibly peaking it quite a lot there. Alright, let's try a low kick and see what damage that does, since we are at least in a better position right now. Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter one way or the other. Iron Bundle just has big defense. Okay, so here's a fun thing. I can X defense and X special defense and try to build that up while they swap out, meaning I can build myself up in a pretty good spot here. So that's what I'm going to do, and we're going to ride this out as far and as long as I can. There we go. Alright, it's down. The X defense did its job. Oh, is that what it does? Interesting. Alright, Iron Jugulus? Not where we've already popped an Iron Defense, so at this point, Skidmark is kind of our most tanky run. Alright, all it is special attack, which is not our strong point. But it will do damage. So I'm gonna lead off with a Toxic, just so that we know we're in a good spot. And then for what's gonna be coming, I'm gonna continue the item strategy. I'm gonna be popping a bunch of items and letting the poison do what it does. So let's pop an X special defense. We are going to build Skidmark up to be so monumentally powerful that he will do, as his name implies, and leave the entire competition as a Skidmark across all of Area 0. His poop stain shall be limitless. Oh, I hate that I even said that. That was bad. That was very bad, and I apologize. Also opening my other drink here. Toxic is OP, absolutely, and that is exactly why I am leaning all in on it. Like, no joke, I'm not even gonna try to argue. You are just correct. If the opponent is not willing to use items to deal with it, Toxic is just broken. And it's not the way I want to win as far as like the overall strat, but it is absolutely how I am willing to build up to that end strat. Give us some big muscles. Alright, it's gonna go down next round, so we're gonna heal up. And just because I have so many full restores, we're gonna flex our wallet a little bit and just spend one when I don't have to. 2 of my favorite channels uploaded during your stream, which they never do, and I'm like, given the anxiety you feel at this point in Nuzlocke, I'm definitely sticking around. Thank you very much, Richard. I think we're gonna be fine. I've said this before and had the game bend me over and spank my backside, but I think we're gonna be fine. Plus, it doesn't feel as exciting when you witness the end of a Nuzlocke after the stream has already ended. That's true, and also, Richard, I don't know if you have a copy of Sword or Shield, but again, as a reminder, after the stream, after we get to the end bit and we let the credits roll, because again, as I do, I let the credits play. Actually, God, I'm gonna let the credits play, as I normally do, credit where credit is due. Let's see what our attack buff gets to here. But yeah, after all of that, there will be a giveaway for... Did Earthquake miss? Did Earthquake miss? How did Earthquake miss? Yeah, you can heal up a little bit. Let's see what we have going on. If I have to, I can even pop another X attack. I've got several. And literally, our muscles are now too much big for even the Iron Swole. Alright, Iron Valiant. I think this is this the new Gardevoir? I think this is the Bow Maiden Gardevoir. Oh, Fake Out made me flinch. Thank you, Butter. This is the problem with me not paying attention, and this is where a lot of my biggest mistakes come from. Alright, Booster Energy and Quark Drive. Their attack went up bigly, but so did our defense because we ran through what we did. Pop another full restore. I barely got anything done in Pokemon Shield, not even sure if I can trade in that one yet. Well, we can find out. Alright, that looked like it was going to hurt. It didn't really hurt. I don't know Iron Valiant's typing, but I guarantee you it is not going to be flying. Earthquake about to hurt. Spirit Break might hurt. Okay, it didn't, but it could have. And you can lower our special attack all you want. We are not worried about the special attack. Yeah, Earthquake about to hurt. I'm not sure I want to risk it, though. A good crit could be a problem. Let's pop another full restore. If we are going to do a skid mark sweep, and I've been wanting a single Pokemon sweep this entire game, we have had many opportunities that I have screwed up. I'm not going to screw this one up. We're taking this one to the bank. And now the Iron Valiant is poisoned. Even if it wants to, you know, avoid hurt from the Earthquake, it's done. It's game over. I mean, game over for them, not game over for me. I'm doing good. We've got this. We have one final fight coming in, and I'll be honest. If it wasn't for the fact that Turo decides to break Pokeballs, or whatever happens, I actually think we'd be in a pretty good spot. Just leave Skidmark out. Skidmark is boosted. Skidmark has stat growth. Skidmark is the eternal pain of the shit smear across Area Zero now. Leave him out. Let him do his work. Skidmark sweep. Absolutely. Butter, I don't know how to tell you how many times I have set up for huge stat bonuses, for big plays, for massive numbers, and to be like, yo, we're set up for a sweep, only to lose like 2 or 3 Pokemon in that exact same moment. I say that, and the game is like, yo, how about I choke slam you? How about I throw you up against the wall and tell you that we're going in dry? Many a tears have been shed over me proclaiming the momentary opportunity for a sweep. So I'll be honest, ending on a Skidmark sweep, God, it is not a fun sentence to say, but it is a fun thing to experience. I'm not finishing that sentence. You get where I'm going. It's very God, I can't even say satisfying. It just does. Nothing works. Nothing I say will ever make Skidmark feel appropriate. And as someone who has done much laundry for children, there is nothing that will ever make Skidmarks okay. Nothing. Sweeping this. To read a chat from Dem in the chat group. Again, sweeping Skidmarks, once again quoting Dem, is kind of satisfying. I will not have that broken up there. I will read as must be read. Sweeping Skidmarks, you're not wrong. Just take the Skidmark and just smear it all across Area Zero. Oh. The Pooh Quagsire, bringing home the win that I didn't even expect. If you recall, when I caught that Pokemon, I was excited because I expected it was going to be here for a while. And then almost immediately it got sidelined. I think it was my first actual catch, even. I mean, obviously the game forced one on us. Okay, hold on. No, I go down here. There we go. The game forces a catch on you. And I was okay with it because the game forced it on me. But the first actual catch that we had, I think, I might be wrong, but I think it was Skidmark. And the idea that we go full circle, Skidmark having minor victories here and there, but going full circle and bringing him out for the end game sweep. Kind of satisfying, not gonna lie. Have you seen AI Turo's hand has been out for this battle and the last one? I'll be honest, I have not been paying attention to AI Turo. I'll probably have to go back and watch my recording later and see what you're talking about. I assume there might be something to do with like an Easter egg about it then. If nothing else, he is reaching out, begging for Skidmark to stop. All right. The Hadron Engine. That's kind of a cool name. All right. Yo, I can't terrestrialize, can I? You okay? Okay, oh, hold up. Can I check? I'm curious what we're working with here. So much special attack. And our special defense is pretty good. So let's increase that special defense, because if the special attacks are highest, it's probably its highest as well. So if I increase our special defense, we'll take less damage, right? That's how that works. Go ahead and taunt, man. Oh, that's right. We're currently in battle form, so I don't think there is any terrestrializing to do. No, there is an option for that later on. This move's power is boosted more than its usual if it's a super effective hit. I don't think it's going to be a super effective hit. I almost wonder if, because of the typing, if Power Gem's a better move. I've got to at least see Electro Drift, but then we're going to compare it to Power Gem. I have 3 Pokemon in Shield. One is an Event Dracovish, and one is a Bikini, though. That's kind of cool. Man, starting to feel my voice go. We have so many Super Soakers, you don't even know. Turo, you got nothing on the amount of potions I walked in here with. Yo, Charge is an odd one, because I don't have that. Which means it can make itself stronger over time. Which is a terrifying thought. Did you know that in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, if you talk to someone, you get a free level 1 legendary? Is that Shaman? Is that the Shaman you get? I remember that there's one that you talk to in one of the major towns that you run through. But yeah, anytime they give you a free shiny or a free legendary, pretty useful. I think they also had an event when the game first came out for you to... Alright, that kind of hurt, but you're going to be stuck in place for a turn, so I can heal, get back to full, and you're not even going to slap me for it. That face. You can do it. I know it. Alright, let's just pop a full restore again. I think it's random. It might be. I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure if I did that or not. Can't use the 2 event Pokemon yet due to their levels. Oh, okay, so they're over-leveled for you. Well, Richard, I don't know if you're far enough along to do a trade or not. I don't remember when they make that available to the player. Should I be worried about all of those numbers going up? Because I don't remember if that's mine or theirs. Oh, but we about to terrestrialize and blast him. We have an X special attack, I think it was. No, we have an X special defense. But we've gotten several stat buffs along the way. You got a Jirachi. Yo, the Wishmaker. I had such mixed feelings when that movie came out. The first time I watched it, I was like, yo, I kind of like this movie, and I really liked the big end. Ooh, one shot. Hell yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, I really liked like the big Godzilla-like Groudon that they gave in that. It was really cool. But I also really liked the lore building around the idea of the Wishmaker, but when you realized what it was doing, it was really funny the first time I watched it. When I went back and watched it separately a second time, it didn't hit as well as many other Pokemon movies do their second time watching. There was another one that was like that, in my opinion. What was the one with the machine, the Latios and Latios? That was another one that was really cool to watch the first time. Actually, probably for a first time viewing, one of my favorites to watch. But when you watch it a second time, it just doesn't hold up as well. Something about like the way it delivers the storyline. It's the kind of thing that doesn't hit enough consistent notes that they maintain strong replayability. I still think probably the best movie for that is honestly probably Pokemon the first movie. And it just has replay value. I'm not going to say it's the best of the Pokemon movies, but it's got the best replay value, in my opinion. Jirachi got rid of the problem. Jirachi, or get rid of the problem. Jirachi makes May disappear. Absolutely one of the best. Aside from Brock's drying pan, that's probably one of the best jokes in all of Pokemon. There's actually a ROM hack of Fire Red called Pokemon Clover. It's a parody one for the record. A sign in-game says it's not designed to be Nuzlocked. But if you have the balls... Richard, are you issuing a challenge to me? Are you telling me that this is what I am meant to do? I believe that is if you have other games. I think Jirachi is for Sword and Shield. Mew is for Leaf. Oh, let's go Eevee and Pikachu. I wonder if you can get both. I might have gotten both thinking about it. I might have possibly gotten both. Insert Jirachi Sigma. Not wrong. That's actually the perfect use for that term right there. Pokemon Hero. Okay, Pokemon Heroes was the movie I was thinking of. The only Pokemon movie we had left at my house after old neighbors of ours literally. Ooh. Yeah, I have been the victim of theft of a great value of things before. I get that. I don't know if I've mentioned it on a stream before, but when I was growing up, I've mentioned it before, we didn't have a lot of money. We weren't, I've mentioned it before, at one point we were literally homeless, but that was as a result of life throat punches that came as I was growing up, not as I was younger child. And we had a couple of games. I had a lot of Super Nintendo games, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. I had a decent library. And one of my friends growing up was hell-bent on not being a friend for very long, and stole them from me. And I never would have found out it was them if it wasn't for the fact that my paranoid child brain decided to open up a couple of my games, one of which being, if you remember, Pokemon Crystal having that slightly see-through game cartridge. I signed on the inside of the top portion of that game cartridge. Now, I never sold my games. It was not a thing I did. And I go to a GameStop, and I see my copy of Pokemon Crystal in the case. And I know it's a copy of Crystal, my copy of Crystal, because they didn't wipe out the signature on the inside. Now, back in the day, it was, you know, as a young child, you don't realize how you need to go out and you need to get the fancy whatever bit-style screwdriver to open those game cartridges properly. The way I opened it was I took an old spent pen cartridge, and I heated up one end with a lighter, and I pressed it into the back of the game cartridge. Dumb idea, do not recommend doing this, but it worked, and it created an imprint of the bit on the game cartridge. And I used that to open all of my games once I let it dry or harden back up, once I let it come back down from the melting point. I pulled it off, and it maintained that bit shape so that I could use it to open all my games and sign them on the inside. So what ended up happening was I had to get the police involved so that they could figure out who brought those games in to trade them. Because back in the day when you were doing a trade to GameStop, you actually had to sign something. I don't know if this was like a legal thing or whatever, but you had to write your name down that you were trading certain games in. Well, a game that was mine had my name on it, and several others were all traded in at the same time for a cash-out value. I had to get the police involved to figure out who it was. I'm not going to drop any names. Anyways, the police got the name of who it was, and I actually, my parents were willing to go to court over this because the amount of money spent on these games, again, we're talking like, you know, early 2000s, late 90s money, so inflation has done a lot to this number to lessen its value. It was Melvin, wasn't it? God damn it, Dem! You're not supposed to tell people! Anyway, honestly, I'm literally not gonna give a name, but you're actually not too far off from the last name, at least. As I recall what their last name was. Anyways. So yeah, it was like over $800 or something like that. When you talk about the value of what was spent, because it was like an entire library of Game Boy Color games and Game Boy Advance games. I had like maybe 4 left when I realized what had happened, and a lot of high-valued Super Nintendo games. So my parents were like, and my father at the time had a contract he could go to for something, where he actually had a lawyer available to him for a point in time, and he was like, no, we're going to take this to court if that's what it has to be. And he was ready to go to town with it. And what ended up happening was the parent of the individual decided that they were going to make an offer and settle out of court. And what happened there was I was allowed to take the settlement from the out-of-court settlement, which was not as much as what the games were worth, were not as much as it would cost for me to buy them all back, even at the cost of the exchange. However, it was enough that I would not have come out of that on top of it if we did pursue the legal route. So what happened was there was a lump sum of money. I don't remember what the value was, but I know that it was roughly round about half. and I was allowed to go to the GameStop where these games were, because at this point they were actually ordered to not resell them until this was settled. For whatever reason, the police were just like, hey, don't do this, it's not going to be a good thing. And so I worked with them to buy back the games that I wanted most at cost for what they traded them for. So the amount of cash that this person got, I was able to buy back the game. Now, realistically, that means GameStop walked away having made a lot of money because I couldn't buy back even half of the games in total. But I was able to get my copy of Super Metroid at the time. I was able to get my Pokemon games back. I got a couple of my most wanted games back, but I never got all of them. And I was, as a child, more interested in the games that I was... Hold on. I don't know if YouTube is going to yell at me for the copyrighted music or not, so that's why I just muted that. But as we normally do... Hold up one more second here. There we go. Put that up on the stream just so that we know that we are running the credits for good reason. Anyways, yeah, so I was more worried about what games did I want to play that I got back. I wasn't worried about which games had the most value. Although Super Metroid does have a lot of value if I turned around and sold it. But, you know, as a kid, I'm just like, which games do I keep playing the most? Those are the ones I wanted. I got Super Metroid. I remember the original Star Fox was one I got back. God, I love Star Fox. I want more Star Fox games. That's actually one of the games that I have on my Steam cleaning that I want to do, is a new game that feels so much like the original Star Fox. And I want to do a video. It's not something I could do a full playthrough on because it's just... there's not enough meat to it. But it would be so good in one of those Steam cleaning videos. Alright. I'm even more pissed off that they stole your games just to sell them. That's not just disrespectful to you, but also disrespectful for the fans of games in general. Yeah, okay. Here's the thing. Here's the really sad part. They stole them from me, sold them, took cash value, so they took a drop in the trade-in value. I think at the time it was like, what, 20% gets taken off if you take cash at the time? It might have even been 50% for all I know, because I don't trade my games in very often. So yeah, they took a drop in the value just to get cash, and what it turns out they did, and we got this from the parents, is they went out and bought weed with it. So... this is one of the reasons why I am so, and a lot of people get mad at me, I don't buy the argument that people try to give me that you can't be addicted to weed. If your addiction is strong enough that you steal from a friend, ruin a friendship just to seek out a high, I think that qualifies as an addiction. So, whether you're for or against, I don't buy the argument that it's not an addiction. And that's just purely from my lived experiences. I get that. Fine and dandy, whatever. But that's where I get that from, and it's a sore spot for me. I think people would understand my stance on it. But yeah, they stole it all just to go get a quick high. So it was very disappointing from many angles on that front. YouTube pops in and be like, yo, did I hear copyrighted music? Butter, don't get me started. I have a full rant on this and it pisses me off. YouTube does not treat copyrighted music equally. Now, it will still flag copyrighted content, but if you're doing shorts, for whatever reason, you can use bigger chunks of music than you can doing YouTube videos. If I use 5 seconds of... I have talked about this. I have gotten copyright strikes for humming music that I know the tune to. Now, I challenge those and they eventually get removed, but that doesn't stop the strike from hitting you at the initial point. I have gotten copyright strikes that I can't remove when I used small audio clips for things. I had a fan make a unique song for me. And I've talked about this before. It is one of the highlights of me ever doing anything on YouTube. They made a song for me to use at one point, intended to be used as an outro, and I have used it in so many other ways since then. I have had YouTube try to copyright claim as part of a major agency that song that was made for me by a fan. I took big issue with that one. That was one of the biggest ones that I threw a whole fit over for YouTube. But many times when they try to copyright strike me, I don't even fight it. I let it play itself out. I wait it out. Usually, I challenge it and just say, hey, whatever. And they turn around and say, okay, well, we're going to run ads on your video and they're going to get the money for the ads. I don't care about that. That's usually where it ends up going. Hold on. There we go. Anyways, so yeah, but if you're doing shorts, they let you play a larger chunk. Now, shorts will still get flagged. It's not like they're immune to it, but there seems to be a weighted scale there. And I know that because I have done 2 shorts. One of them had music behind it. And I know that music is owned by people. And YouTube was just like, oh yeah, whatever. We don't care. I did the same thing for a bit during my my Brilliant Diamond Nuzlocke. And YouTube freaked out over that one. And again, this was a small content creator, small at the time. Not even at the time, that's not the right word, but not a major label. It was Nathan Sharp's cover song, or not a cover song, it was one of his unique songs. I also realized I could turn the game audio back on. That was a mistake on my part. But yeah, so they flagged me on that one. And frankly, I'm not salty about it. They should. I know full well that I used a sizable chunk of his song for that. It fit too well. It fit the theme perfectly. And I challenged it and they were just like, okay, well, he's going to get money for ads on it. Again, fine and dandy. That's the way it should be. He made the song. He should get, even though I don't play the whole song, I agree he should get that. But yeah, YouTube, go figure. As with many other major content creators, myself being very small, every so often you take the opportunity to throw a punch back at YouTube because a lot of people have problems. Anyways, there were more comments here to read, so let me get through these. Never had anything taken by friends. Used to swap with a couple of guys on our street, and he complained we damaged one of his cases. Okay, oh boy. Took ours and threw it to the ground. Yo, I'd be throwing hands. So, I did share my games with a lot of people. I was willing to lend them out. I eventually put a stop to that when I was on the receiving end of the story you're talking about. One of my friends, who I gave a hard case to for the game, didn't put the game in a hard case, set it on their coffee table, and then proceeded to spill soda all over it. The game no longer worked. Whatever they did that got all up in there, cleaning it out didn't solve anything. It didn't work. It was an N64 game. I think it was Rampage or Rampage World Tour. Anyways, it was an N64 Rampage game. I don't remember which one it was. But they had ruined it. And I was mad. I was angry. I was upset. And but there was no throwing of their stuff. There was no me breaking their stuff. I was mad and upset at them. And what it turned into from that is I am not lending games out to people anymore without a direct exchange. So if I'm lending you a game, you're lending me a game. If I'm lending you something, you lend me something, and we exchange back when we're done. So that was the way that ended up playing into eventually. Because yeah, at one point I was just like, sure, play my games. I love the idea that we have this culture that we can experience each other's stuff, so that we don't have to constantly be buying the same thing. But yeah, it is true that, sometimes somebody can ruin something and it changes the formula in that sense. I'm definitely not far enough to be able to get any Pokemon from that giveaway. I definitely need to play more Pokemon Shield at some point. Richard, I'll tell you what, you are a longtime viewer. I will let you lay claim to one of these Pokemon. I have 4 of them to give away. And Butter and Dem, you guys can fight over who gets what. We will figure that out when we get to that step, because we're getting there very soon. I don't even know people thought you can't get addicted to weed. Nah, you definitely can. Butter, seriously, I assume that's in reference to that point. Yes, quite often it's people who are themselves stoners who will make that claim, and there is a clinical definition that they're relying on. The idea that you can't be physically addicted, and the idea that you can go through withdrawals strong enough to... Here's the thing, when you have a full-blown addiction of some heavy drugs, if you quit cold turkey, your withdrawals can have physical effects on your body so bad that they put your life at risk. I believe this is the avenue people are going down when they claim that you can't be addicted to weed. Because you can suffer withdrawals, however, they are mostly mental withdrawals that you're kind of forcing into your body. There are physical side effects, but it's unknown to... At the time that I looked into it, it was unknown if that is a physical addiction to marijuana or to something else, or if this is something that your mind is kind of forcing onto your body via stress of the stopping. But it was never thought to be enough to put your life in danger from it. It's just going to be a lot of nasty things that you have to wait through and fight your way through the quitting process. That is my understanding, but I am of the opinion that when people talk about addiction, they aren't just talking the hard physical necessity that your body creates through the physical avenue of addiction. There is, for most people when talking about addiction, unfortunately referencing also the mental and emotional damage that you can do that creates the constant recurring need to return to the product itself on that avenue. And that is just my understanding of situations based largely on my lived experiences and seeing what it does to people. Again, I am not a stoner myself, however, I do know many stoners, most of which are fairly chill people, some of which not so much. So, reading the chats, like, I'm for it being legal, but trust me, you can get addicted. Again, Richard, you're not wrong. In the same way that I have been heavily addicted to food before. You can be addicted to anything, even things your body needs. I know someone who was literally addicted to water, and I say that because they consumed so much so regularly that they were constantly waterlogged, and they had a huge amount of water weight, and they were actually kind of running their system in overdrive, just processing all the water. Again, amongst all addictions, that one's not particularly bad for you, and they were actually fairly healthy as a result, but they did have other issues that came up as a result of it. Again, constantly fighting the stomach aches and so on. So yeah, there are things to... You can be addicted to anything. You can be addicted to the process of something. You brought this up recently in a Discord watch party. Someone got a video copyright. Yes, someone once got a copyright claim in their video of their own voice, and I don't even think they were singing at the time. But it was their voice, their song, their content, their existence, their creation, their baby boy from beginning to end. And they got copyright claimed for it. But again, we all know YouTube's copyright system kinda broken. Me who couldn't upload me singing the full version of the Hi Hi Puffy Yami Yumi theme, but ended uploading the first verse and chorus to it as a short. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. If I took your cover of that and tried to put it in a full-length video, it probably would be hitting a lot of flags and cause a lot of problems on my channel. I don't think it would get me a hard strike, but it would get me a strike of the having to get ads and send money to yada yada yada. I almost guarantee that's the outcome that I'd face. But it might even be a hard strike that I challenge that becomes that. That's the process I have to face a lot, is I get hard strikes that get walked back. after I challenge them. Obviously, drugs are bad, but a lot of people don't think that because some people feed their family that way. Okay, by the money, yes. And again, that is the creation of a black market of anything. A lot of people will reference that as the failure of the drug war, of which I don't hard disagree. I don't hard disagree that the idea that the drug war has failed. And here's the thing. You can look at other parts of the world and see how they handle the process. And there are two ways to deal with the drug war system that leads to an outcome. Whether it's a good or a bad outcome leads to an actual outcome. What we have right now is a drug war with no real outcome. But you can look at it, and based on certain areas, they will have successes or failures based on both paths that you can take with it. So it's really a matter of what ends up working for the people of the community that it's being done with. But the two avenues you can take is absolute authoritarian hard crackdown, or the exact opposite. And it's purely a matter of many situations at play that determine how that plays out. And there is a level of economic and social and so many other avenues that you would have to tackle with that to decide which way is going to be best. And then, of course, you have it's going to be bad either way for a period in time. I do not envy the people who think that they are in the position to make the decisions around that, because it is one of those problems that is not a correct answer. In my opinion, it's one of those problems that is not a correct answer no matter which way you tackle it. But you only have those two options to get an actual outcome. And I'm not vouching for either. Let me end it on that. Alright, so we just made it to the end game. Our team, our 69 squad, no longer 69, but our 69 squad ran through that gauntlet. Ash holding on to the namesake as long as he could. Mad respect, Ash. Love ya. Still made it to the end point, coming over that hurdle. But I'm surprised that I came in. Let me explain to you what I expected. I didn't expect the Skidmark sweep. That never crossed my mind. I expected Skidmark to go down. I expected Lewis to go down. I expected Ash to go down. My game plan, by the way, what was running through my head, Rocky was going to go down. My game plan was Nibbler doing big damage, and actually Bacon being the tankiest that I thought Bacon was the tankiest that I had. And being the tankiest, he can put them to sleep and work himself up, getting himself the big damage buffs. And I expected the dig and the headbutt to be the big damage dealers and healing over time. I had that X special defense to put on him. But the inverse worked out better because Skidmark's special defense was so high, and we could do the X defense or so on that, and it seemed like the special defense worked out better for us. But that was literally, like, the way it worked in my head was Bacon coming through as the lone survivor. So going from what I feared as a possible lone survivor moment became an absolute Skidmark sweep. Anyways, we finally got that sweep. You're right, Butter. We have reached the end point. I am going to save this game. I am going to back out. I'm going to get up, swap my games over, and we are going to do that giveaway that I mentioned earlier on. What you saw there for a moment when the Elgato sign came up that is my capture card that I use, and I accidentally popped the switch out of its dock in order to pull the game out. You finally got a sweep. Big woohoo. Skid mark sweep for the win. I did not see that coming, and I'm really happy to have that. When we had the Brilliant Diamond one, what was so cool about that one for me was the ending. And in case Butter ends up wanting to go through and watching that at some point, I'm not going to ruin what the ending was, but the turnaround into the absolute domination of Cynthia, which, by the way, dominating Cynthia could not have a better ending, if you catch my drift. Although I don't think she's the kind of person to submit so willingly. Anyways, yeah, bad jokes aside, that was an ending that was fantastic. Hold up, there we go. Pose. Alright, so let me pull up the box and take a look at what we're going to be giving away. So if you look at my party lineup, these are what I'm holding on to. I have 2 male Lucario, or Riolus, and I'm going to be giving one away. I have an Arcanine and a Growlithe that are shiny, so I'm going to be giving away my Growlithe here. We have a shiny Beldum, the big silver golden boy. Let me check these out one last time before we get rid of them. Look at him. Look at these guys. Don't look at the stats. I'm sure they're garbage. But these are the ones we are going to be giving away. Got 4 shiny baby boys for you guys to do. Well, are they all boys? Nope. Boys and girls and... Yes. I'm not going to say anything because the internet will be mad at me. You kind of want Beldum? I am good with that. Actually, let me pull up the box again. So if you guys want to lay claim to anything, let me know. I promised Richard first grab at one if he wants it. So Richard, if you have one of these 4 that are a strong want for you, let me know. At Dem, I could... Oh geez, oh god. She normally ends up dominating me. At Dem, I could say the same about Vaporeon. Yep. And the appropriate response. I kind of want that Beldum. So, Butter, I have no problem with you trying to hop in and get the Beldum. I'm waiting to hear from Richard if he has one that he wants me to set aside for him. And Dem, you want Riolu or Axew? Well, we'll see which one Richard wants to pull aside, and we will adjust for that one appropriately. Now, if I come over here, the Pokemon that I was willing to give away that are shiny, that I'm fairly certain are hacked, are these 2. Obviously, they come from someone's Discord. I got these both, I believe, from a random trade, and I was surprised when I got one of them. And then I was annoyed when I got the second. But of the other ones that I have gone through, I think this is another one that's hacked. Yeah, I think this is another one that was hacked. However, it did not have the name tie-in to these. But these are ones that I have, I believe are all ones I've hatched. I'm not sure. No, I think Pinsir was not. I think this was another Wonder Trade. Again, possibly hacked. When you see everything as best stats, I question it. But you can see the ones that I hatched are not all best stats. And frankly, for a Doublade, physical attack would have been preferred, in my opinion. Ergo, there you go. But these are ones that I hatched up and was very happy to get. Dem said both the ones I wanted. If you want both, though, I could claim the Growlithe. Seems fitting since I got you in a shiny one in Legends Arceus. Seems only fair. You know what? I kind of like the thematic approach to that. Also, the Growlithe in Legends Arceus was also part Rock type, which is really cool. Not very good for battling, but it was a really cool design. So I am going to hold this one aside for Richard and put it all the way in the bottom corner. And what I'm seeing here is Butter can go for the Beldum. And we will guarantee one for Dem as best I can. And Ash, you showed up at the very end. So whichever one Dem doesn't want, you can get the last one if you have a copy of Sword or Shield to make the trade for. Alright, Richard specifically wants the Riolu. I did give him the right to pick. So this is what we're doing here. Dem, you are going to be getting, as long as we can manage to make it happen. Where was it? Butter is Beldum. Dem will be getting the Axew, which leaves Growlithe for Ash, if you so choose, which is even more fitting because Ash has been in Arcanine. And so you did the Sword Nuzlocke? Nice. Well, if you are interested in making a trade, you can get a shiny Growlithe in Sword. With that said, Ash, please don't start a new game and erase him, my shiny boy. Spent a lot of time hatching him. Alright, now, forgive me, it has been a long time since I did the online content for this. I believe we do a link trade, but I have to connect to the internet first. Ash, you do not want it. Fine enough, but just wanted to make the offer since you have been here for the ride. Alright, so we are going to set a link code. So guys, let me know if we have the right person. I'm not going to commit to the trade until we know the person is getting what they want. Our code, our 8-digit code, 1278. Since we're doing this, and I have to say which one we're going for first, Dem, let's get your Axew first. Again, that code is 12785800. And again, there is no requirement for what you give me for this, so I do not so much care what you want to throw my way. Just know that if it does end up another shiny, it will be put into the pool. I'll try to get far enough in the game to trade today. Richard, if at any point you want to follow up on the trade, just let me know in a DM on Twitter, and we can make that happen. I'll try to get far enough in the game to do the trade. Gonna eat first, though. All right. So we are going to do the Axew. Now, Dem, let me know, is this you? I need to know, Dem. Okay, yeah, it is you. I want to do this as above the board as I can. Now, does anybody want either of those two legendary hacks with the garbage names? Yeah, you want to show off the other shinies, I get that. You went through a whole run with that with our last stream. Yeah, I'll take the card. Alright, Dem, once again, because you are okay with taking one, which one do you want? The Tapu Fini or the... I'll give you the Thundurus. That's the one I'll give up. Big old shiny Thunder Boy. I'll be honest, I'm kind of okay with the little dragon flyby boy. One of my favorite Pokemon that came out of this generation. Is one of the... Again, I've mentioned it. When I buy cards, I tend to prefer picking what I get. And they did an entire run with a shiny version of it as a booster free gift. And I bought that pack instantly because I do like it. Butter wants to do the Tapu Fini. Alright. We will go through with that. We'll have to make sure that we have... Ooh. There we go. Let's back out. Alright, so now we are going to be going with Butter. And Butter was getting the Beldum and the Tapu Fini. So we're going to set a code. And our code is going to be 369. Obviously 420. 47. There you go. There's the number. I thought the large number of shinies in that stream was... Yeah, it was a really cool thing for him to come in and just be like, yo, let me just... Again, it was really funny that he comes in and was just like, oh, you're giving me shinies. By the way, here's the flex of a bunch of other shinies. But it was also like a really cool treat to see them all. Alright, Butter, just want to confirm, is this you? Alright. Thank you for the confirmation. Again, I just don't want to be sending this out to some rando because once it's gone, it is gone. It's my old name. I'm not too much worried about the name. As you can see, Okay. That's kind of a big trade-off. You okay with that? All right, thank you. I do like the Dragon Reggie. I know, man, when they were first coming out, a lot of people were super hyped about the electric one. Something about like the competitive value of it. I don't care about the competitive value. The big dragon, beefy Rage Boy was so cool, and the big dragon laser that he shoots. I thought it was the cooler one. Absolutely, let me have that card. All right, and we are popping over the Tapu Fini as well. You're trading big. But all right. When I play through this game again on a Nuzlocke, I am absolutely going to be doing a spoof account. So we'll go off of that as we do. I think I did the same thing for the diamond one that I did. You have like 10. That's impressive. I have a lot of Growliths because I was going through and hatching them. Yes, Richard, dragons are cool. Let me show this real fast before I close the menu up. I was going through and hatching a bunch of Growliths. Which is how I managed to have a second one in the background. Alright, so... I mean, sure we'll save in a minute, but... I didn't want to hold you up in the box for too long. Going forward, this does mean that I have one Growlithe to put up to a random person to get. So I'm going to put a code on, and whoever connects is the one that gets the Growlithe, but the Riolu is to be given to Richard. Guaranteed trade for Richard whenever he decides to swap in to play the game to get to that point. I also have like 100 Cramorants to get a shiny, but I failed. Yeah, it's a process that takes a while. Let me pull this up here. I have 850 hours on this game, trying to hatch shiny Pokemon. So yeah, it's a process. And you saw how many I was able to get on this in the amount of time that I dedicated to it. Alright, we are setting the link code, and the link code is going to be 0045712. And this one is going out to the ether. It's going to be first come, first served. I actually had a few other shiny Pokemon that I had around the time that I was trading, but these were specifically gifts for people way back when this game was still the most relevant one to play. I know I had a few other Riolus that I traded. I had a couple of Growlithe. I had some other Charmanders. I think I had a Gardevoir or two, or a Ralts rather. But yeah, they were all to be given out to people that have already come and gone. I'll DM you when I get that far. Thank you very much, Richard. In the meantime, once we send this Pokemon out... I didn't catch what the trainer name was, unfortunately. Alright, it was Jack. Was that Butter earlier? Or was that Dem? I didn't pay attention earlier either. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody, for... Okay, that was Dem. Alright. Thank you so much for sticking through this, for seeing us through, and I am surprised by the sweep once again. Very happy about that. But yeah, that is going to be the end of the stream. Thank you so much for coming in, and again, I'm sorry we didn't get a shiny to trade off of the game intended, but I had a few in stock to make good on it, so I might even try to farm a few more for the next Nuzlocke we ever do that I'll give away again, because frankly, I remember how easy it was for me to do the Masuda method here. Anyways, thank you so much. I usually do a stream once a week. When I'm able, I try to fit more in, but I am a very busy guy. So hopefully you guys will come by again next weekend. Hope to see you there. Have a good one. Bye-bye.